got a favorite Laker?
I love Kobe Bryant because I want him to have sex with me. Woo!
It's gone! Oh my God!
Well, you always give me a hard time. You don't never give me the credit I really deserve.
You're good at commentating, so stick to commentate. Let me do the fight.
We go!
Welcome, everyone, to the Cooper and Rupert podcast. Thank you very much for listening. It is me, Mikey Rupert, alongside your co-host, Doug Cooper. This week, Doug, we're coming out of the podcast closet with this episode.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm very excited to finally launch this thing. It's we've done several episodes before, but we were trying to get everything kind of ready to go. We're trying to get our chops up before we actually came on and got in everybody's ear hole with this thing.
You don't want to come out weak, or else no one will ever listen to it again. I feel like that's the theory behind it.
Exactly. So
practice runs.
So we did some practice runs, which are all up. You can hear all of our trials and failures and successes also on the website, cooperandrupert.com.
Mostly lows, but some highs.
And there's a few in there. There's a couple good bright spots. Okay. Yeah. And today we have the lovely Karen taking pictures of us.
Yeah. I wanted to get one where we were so close we were almost kissing.
You know, I've got a couple good ideas of pictures we should take. I had this one idea where, like, we could be, like, I'll be snapping the football and you'll be the quarterback, taking it from center.
Yeah.
I think that'd be, like, a good picture. I think we need to do something like that. You think we might be able to do something like that, Karen?
I think that would be totally legit and that would be great.
Yeah.
People would love that. Maybe you're snapping a microphone to me.
Oh yeah. See, now where ideas are flowing. The photographer, you need to take some notes. We need to get some of these pictures happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few things to talk about today, and talking Jason Collins, more gay talk. We've got we're talking, LeBron and that whole injury, and even the weird Phillies news over the weekend, and Daytona 500. Did you watch, Doug?
No, I didn't.
It happened today.
I did not, and I never will.
200 laps of that thing.
Did she win?
6-hour rain delay. What?
Did Danica Patrick win?
No.
Of course not.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. did.
Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't have much to say on that, but I was actually kind of pumped. I had this weird dream last night, like it was about NASCAR. And I'm honest to God. And then I woke up. I was like, you know what? I need to watch this thing. I'm going to watch this Daytona 500. So I watched a couple of laps. And then it was that rain delay for 6 hours, and I totally lost interest.
And then you were like, "Oh yeah, it's just this the whole time. I can just turn it off." I've seen 2 laps. I've seen the whole thing, so I can just shut it off.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I didn't finish it. But spoiler alert for anybody, I guess, who had a DVR: the Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Daytona 500. But there's actually a really funny story within that. Because of the rain delay, they showed the 2013 Daytona 500 in its entirety, in which Jimmy Johnson won. So people, I guess, didn't understand that was a replay that they were showing. So Jimmy Johnson's phone was blowing up like the whole race. Like, dude, congrats, great job.
That speaks very highly to the NASCAR product. People don't even know what happened and what they're watching.
Some of the finest fans there are, I tell you.
Yeah.
But let's lead off with this story, which I'm kind of getting a little bored of, the gay athlete story. Jason Collins, of course, signed a 10-day contract today with the Nets, and he played 11 minutes and scored 0 points. But the Nets did win 108-102. So I guess there's not much really left to say. I mean, we used everything to say about Michael Sam over this past week.
Yeah.
But
is it too
he's
early?
the first gay player to play in a game.
Is it too early to say Jason Collins is in the MVP race?
It's never too early.
Because, I mean, he's 1,000% winning percentage. 1,000 winning percentage.
But he didn't score. And I'm actually a little bit concerned about that today, because now it's going to be the first gay player to score, and then it's going to be the first gay player to take off his sweatpants and his first gay player to successfully take a shower. And it's just, it's really annoying how it's got to be the first everything. I was hoping to just wipe everything out tonight, get Jason Collins on the board with a free throw or something. I think he missed one shot.
Yeah.
Didn't shoot a free throw.
We were talking about how basically we just hope that we're looking forward to the day when this is not a story anymore.
It is. And the way I'm feeling about this story right now, hopefully, is how everyone's feeling about it. It's just like, you're gay. That's great.
Yeah.
Be gay, but put on results. That's all that's all that we really care about. And it's kind of a story. It was at first, when he first came out and we thought he was going to play on a team, it was a story. Then when he came with Michael Sams and that whole thing, we thought he was going to be the first to play, but then he gets in and takes it over. So hopefully this is the end of it.
Do you think that's why he signed the 10-day contract? Just so he could.
Well,
be the
it wouldn't have
first?
been all his decision. It would have been the Nets.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, they're the ones who signed him.
Yeah.
I don't think that the gayness had to do anything with it.
No, I don't either. I think, like you said, like it'll be nice when this is not anything we ever have to talk about, because not caring is the right response.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think we will. And I think what this probably will do is I'm already feeling a little bit more desensitized to this topic. It went from the first time that this came out as something that I would really want to talk about. Like when Jason Collins came out the first time, it's like, whoa, here's a new topic. And then he went away. And then Michael Sam came out and it was like, hey, this is a great topic. Let's talk about this, because he'll actually be the first one to play. And now that it's actually happened, I'm kind of getting gay fatigue when it comes to the sports thing. Like, I mean, I think it's great. Like, I hope that all gay athletes are able to come out. I hope that the environment will be ready for them, which I know, I'm so confident that it is by now.
Yeah,
now that we've seen
care.
the face of it, we know what it looks like, and we know it doesn't have cooties and gonna ruin everyone's day. I think it's completely fine, and hopefully this will be the end of it.
Yeah, I think we're very close. Nobody our age cares.
No, they really don't. Do you think that this will have any effect on Michael Sam, like to lessen his story?
No, because I think football is I think the culture of football is what makes that a little bit more interesting, just because it's people, like we were talking about the other, I think we touched on it maybe a little bit, but people kind of tend to equate like manliness with being straight and you know, like being feminine with being gay. And so the fact that like football is just such a man's sport, you know, and like, and so I like it because, and I think it's a little bit more important in that sport because it kind of, you know, erases that common conception. Whereas basketball is a more finesse sport. It's not viewed quite the same way. So I don't think it'll totally change anything for Michael Sam, but if it does, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I hope it does. I could probably see the story lessening a little bit from this thing, just because, you know, it's like we've already seen it. He won't be the first player to ever play in a game. It's, you know, it's getting a little exhausting, but I think it's a good thing. I think that's a good thing that the story is getting exhausting. It's almost like we're annoyed. It's like, yeah, we get it. It's okay. We've been fine with it this whole time.
Yeah.
And now that it's actually played, but he didn't score. So now is it going to be, who's going to score first, Jason Collins or Michael Sams? You know, because with 10-day contract, I don't know, he'll play a couple games. I didn't get the thing up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's about at the end of his rope, 35 years old. Last action before tonight was April of 2013.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised he didn't get signed going into the season. And more, I feel like there were teams that actually could have used him. The Clippers being one of them. They need a big man, and he's played for Doc Rivers before. Doc Rivers apparently loves him. So that was kind of, I'm surprised it's the Nets, but I mean they have a lot of interest.
Jason Kidd played with him for like 8 years.
Yeah,
I think that was probably one of the main reasons
the Nets,
that sign happened. But yeah, big win for the Clippers today too.
They beat OKC. Yeah,
they beat OKC. That was a good game. I
didn't get to watch it. I was a little.
It was on the rabbit ears today, Doug. I popped it on. I was trying to flip between that and NASCAR. And then I actually got caught in the 2013 thing. I was like, wow, like they're already back on the track. Like that's great. And but no, I watched the game and they look good.
Yeah, they could be. I'm kind of changing my opinion on the Clippers. We don't have to get into it, but I mean, I think like they might be a more legit contender than I thought.
Yeah, Blake Griffin's good, man.
He is really coming on.
Like he's playing.
If he goes hard in the playoffs and plays like he's playing now, I mean that makes him a totally different team.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like him. Should we move on to the NBA?
Yeah,
we're kind of over this Collins thing. We got nothing left to say about it.
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, it is. Today, LeBron. That was the other story. LeBron's broken nose. Did you see that play, by the way?
Yeah, it's weird to see him get hurt because it almost doesn't seem possible. Because I was like 50% sure he was a robot and he didn't have blood. So to see him bleed was unusual.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. That was awesome. He got his nose just jacked, and then he finished the dunk.
Yeah,
you got to see that if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's how hard he is. You can't foul that guy. You can't be like take the foul so he'll shoot free throws. He makes it no matter what. It's amazing.
Oh, it is great. Now here's a question that I had. I was just kind of thinking about this LeBron injury. Well, you could argue that it's probably for the best because Miami doesn't play again till Thursday. Mm-hmm. So this will have given LeBron a full week off by the time he plays again, which he'll most likely play on Thursday. This was a game time decision to sit him out this time.
Yeah.
So probably now that Miami did get the win against the Bulls today, it probably is better for him to get an extra week of rest, because he was complaining, as we all know, about the All-Star game, All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
For him especially, is hardly a break at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the players, they talk about the amount of commitments that they have, just interviews, media stuff, events, all this kind of stuff. It's such a big deal that, they, like Kevin Durant, I saw him on an interview. He was like, I went to bed at like 5 a.m. last night. It's like, that's not helping anybody. Even if you're not physically playing basketball and extending yourself in that way, staying up late and just running yourself ragged, going from one thing to the next is also tiring.
Yeah, and so that gives the rest. Does a week's rest, do you think that has much effect to, like, for the longevity of like a player?
I think
like
for
1 week's rest, is that going to make LeBron all of a sudden fly around during the playoffs? Like, he got 1 week here.
I don't think it'll hurt.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
he's a freak of nature, so I think a week for him could be like us spending like 2 months in an incubation chamber. Like, it could just be like so dramatic. Like, we don't know the impact it has on his body. This is the first time he's ever been hurt.
Yeah, what did he miss? No, he had that groin injury earlier this year.
Oh.
He missed one game.
And then he had the elbow thing in the playoffs, but I still think that was fake. I still don't believe that. I think he took a dive. But that's a whole nother story. But like, I think this is the first time he's legitimately been like actually hurt. A pulled groin is one thing, but a broken bone is a little bit more serious.
It's true, but it is like a nose. I mean, if it doesn't get touched, it's almost no effect at all.
Did you see what he tweeted?
No, I missed it.
He tweeted a picture of him playing with like the Bane mask from Batman, because they have to get those
I gotta
masks.
see that.
And I actually think he should do that. I think he should get a custom Bane mask and just play in that. Yeah, just I think that would suit him well.
Yeah, he's got to do something ridiculous. Did he play with the mask though? Didn't he, like his rookie year?
Maybe.
It seems like I remember LeBron wearing a mask, like at least 1 point in his career.
I don't know for sure.
See, I was already talking about this with one of my buddies. There's going to be this thing now. It's going to be a post broken nose, pre-broken nose, like, LeBron with the mask stat.
Yeah.
With the mask. Like, I'm already going to see it on ESPN.
Yeah.
They're going to have this whole thing about,
That's
like last year with the headband. How he went off when his headband fell off or whatever, and he just went crazy in the playoffs. Now it's going to be like a LeBron with the mask thing. Ooh.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I loved that moment. For whatever reason, him taking the headband off. I don't know why. It was like he was taking himself to another level. Like, that was like a higher, like, he went Super Saiyan, basically. Well, he was like, he removed the headband and he reached a higher level of basketball consciousness.
Because he just, like, played balls out.
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes after that, it was like the most intense we've ever seen him play.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's just terrifying watching him play like that. It's like, I don't know how anyone could stop it.
That was amazing. That was one of my favorite moments. I think that was probably my favorite moment of the finals.
So now I want to go back a couple of days. We hadn't done the podcast, but Miami beat Oklahoma City. When was that? Friday?
Yeah.
And we talked about earlier this Kevin Durant, LeBron thing now coming with the MVP race. Their numbers are getting a little bit closer.
Yeah.
LeBron is really, he played some good basketball for his standards. He's always been playing good, but I mean, like to get up to pass Kevin Durant, their PERs the gap is smaller than it was. And that win, I mean, you talked about how everyone was going to remember the win Oklahoma City had when they just crushed the Heat. This time, the Heat pretty much ran away with it the whole time.
I think he outplayed Kevin Durant more in this game than Kevin Durant outplayed him in the previous game. But
say that again.
I think that the distance between the amount he outplayed Kevin Durant in this game versus the amount that Kevin Durant outplayed him in the last game was a little bit greater. So I think he had a better performance in the two matchups.
Durant had 28 against Miami, but it just never felt like he was doing much because it was so small because it didn't matter.
That's the weird thing about
the whole time.
That's the weird, and maybe that's just a ridiculous thing to say because that's kind of the thing with Kevin Durant is like you're like he's not really doing anything, and then you look at the stat sheet and he's got 36 points and 10 rebounds. And
I think LeBron had a good game. I think he had like 29 or something in that first meeting.
Yeah,
LeBron had 33.
Well, I mean they both played great in both games. I mean it's not that they're never going to play bad, but like. Here, I was kind of joking around, but I was saying like I think this might be LeBron's best season ever, even though it's not. Like the fact that, like we talked about weeks and weeks ago, all those advanced metrics that kind of suggest that he might be coasting a little bit.
Yeah.
Not playing as hard on defense. He doesn't have any of those running people down from behind blocks where he just, runs the length of the court and then throws the ball into the sixth row. Like the fact that he's coasting a little bit and his season is still almost as good as Kevin Durant, the hardest he's ever played and the most he's ever wanted anything in his life. Like, to me, this season almost speaks more to LeBron's just insane greatness. And
that moment, I was watching the other day. I like to illegally stream NBA a lot.
Yeah.
And so I like to watch the Heat. So I had the Miami game on, and LeBron made that fadeaway three at the buzzer to beat Golden State right before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
It's just moments like that guy provides. It just makes a routine regular season game extraordinary.
Yeah, he is extraordinary. In every way. And I think you mentioned this as well. Like sometimes I think people get so caught up in like analyzing his history that they're not just like watching him and just being like, wow, this guy is like the most ridiculous athlete we've ever seen on a basketball floor. He's just the craziest combination of talents ever.
Yeah, and we're not saying anything new. I mean, this isn't news. But another thing, off LeBron, I wanted to move on to a different thing. I wanted to talk about Oklahoma City and Russell Westbrook. Had 2 weak games. I mean, I kind of feel a little stupid kind of bringing this point up, but I mean, will it ruin their chi at all? I mean, he's played 25 and 24 minutes. Like today, he was 3 of 13 for 13 points versus the Clippers, and then last time versus the Heat, he played 24 minutes, was 4 of 12 for 16 points. Hasn't been playing that well, and it just, the Oklahoma City, now they've lost back-to-back games. And they're both games he played in. We all know that they're better with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel it's a little stupid to bring the point up. But you think that there might be something there? I mean,
here's the larger reality, I think, and this is just basically what it speaks to. Obviously, you're right. Yes, Russell Westbrook is a great player, and there's no argument to be made that
Oklahoma City's worse without him.
Yeah, because they're not going to win the finals without him. I think.
I agree.
And for that matter, might not even make it to the finals if they don't have him.
Well, they might not.
But as a pairing of superstars, and I kind of feel this way about LeBron and Dwayne Wade, but just LeBron can do everything so well that it kind of makes up for it. As a pairing of superstars, they're not the best. Like they kind of do similar things. Like their strengths are similar. They both attack the basket. They both like to a lot of their offense comes off the dribble, pull up jumpers. Like they're kind of like ideally I think you would want to have two guys who maybe suit each other a little bit better. I don't know.
I think that's a good point because there is something there. It's like because every time Russell Westbrook shoots, and as talented as he is, it's one time that Kevin Durant is not shooting.
Who is better?
Yes. So It's like, is it better to have more Kevin Durants or just one Kevin Durant? Just make Kevin Durant do Kevin Durant over and over and over again.
Well, and the statistics, like a lot of like the shot charts that happened while Westbrook was out, showed that Kevin Durant was shooting at a higher efficiency rating because he was able to get the shots in parts of the floor that he liked more and was like being utilized in a slightly different way because they had to make up for Westbrook. And so you might be right. Like maybe him playing with somebody like Chris Paul would be way better because, I mean, you could just say that because Chris Paul is better than Russell Westbrook, but like maybe just because Chris Paul is a more pass-oriented guard and their strengths would complement each other a little bit better. I don't know if they're the best pairing of superstars. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably right. It's probably nitpicking. I still think Oklahoma City is the class of the West.
Yeah, I do too. And I think they have a really good chance to win the finals. So, I mean, it might not even matter. Those guys are just so talented that it might not matter. But I think if you were making a super team, ideally, like maybe there's guys that would work a little bit better. I would like to see, this would be down the road maybe because there's talk of it. I would like to see the Lakers with the UCLA guys reunited, Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook. Because I think those guys complement each other really well. They're both great superstars, and it would just be cool to have them back in LA playing. Yeah,
it's difficult. That's a difficult place to go to, or LA, when I'm talking about LA, because with the media out here, it's Lakers basketball 24/7, except for when they're talking about USC football.
Yeah.
and it's the possibilities. It's like they just daydream all the time. So it's like I have no idea what's actually real and what's not.
They're like, we're gonna get Kobe.
Oh, we're getting LeBron. Like we're gonna do this.
Melo.
We're getting Kevin Love. Like who wouldn't want to come to the Lakers? Like those are all valid points, but it's difficult for me to follow them just by listening to those guys. I have no idea. They'll probably will get them. Everybody. I don't know.
Well, according to them, they're gonna get LeBron, Carmelo, Kevin Love, and Russell Westbrook, and Kobe's gonna play for the next 6 years. So it's like, okay, that would be a really good team, I guess, but. I don't know if the salary cap will allow that.
And that's why they lost 102 to 108 against Jason Collins.
Did you see them playing the Celtics? That was like the bizarro 80s finals.
Oh, the Lakers?
Yeah, because the Lakers are so bad and the Celtics are so bad, and it was like the finals from 2008 if they were happening in a different universe. like just two of the worst teams I've ever seen playing basketball against each other.
Yeah, well, it's good. Hey, they're on the same level, so I guess we all win because we get to watch a good game.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, it is competitive.
I think it's hilarious that the Clippers are good. I'm almost, as much as I do love LeBron, I'm kind of secretly rooting for the Clippers to win it all too, just to see if they can, like, how many titles it takes for them to win before Laker fans get jealous of the Clippers.
I think they're jealous right now. They won't admit it, of course, but I think they will.
Because they think they're better, and that's why I hate the Lakers, man. I hate these guys.
Yeah, they think they deserve better. Which maybe, I don't know. They've had a pretty good run, so I don't feel sorry for them.
Yeah, and they get everybody.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for them one bit. I hope that LeBron goes to the Clippers.
You basically went from Kareem to Magic to Shaq to Kobe.
To Swaggy P.
Yeah, that's the chain of greatness.
It's great.
Do you think Swaggy P will have a statue outside Staples Center someday? It's going to be a statue of him leaning against the wall on his phone, checking his Instagram.
Yeah. Nick Young. Yeah, those guys.
He's so ridiculous.
It's hilarious. And then that one player that they did have, Steve Blake, they got rid of.
Yeah. Well, they're tanking, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
They're in full tank mode. Although I'm surprised they didn't trade Powell, but I guess there was not a good offer.
I don't know why they didn't do that either, because he's going to be a free agent after this year, and it's just, you lose him.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Well, I guess they offered him to Phoenix.
For him.
And Phoenix wouldn't even give up a first-round pick. Like, they have a pick from Indiana, which will be like the 30th pick in the first round.
At what point in the NBA draft do picks not matter? Like, what's the pick where it's just like, well, whatever?
It depends on, I guess it depends on what you need. If you need a rotation player, every pick matters. If you need a superstar, the record of getting a superstar outside of the top 12 picks is like 0%, basically. Like, you're never going to draft a guy 16th and he turns into Kobe. What am I saying? I guess Kobe was drafted like in the teens.
Yeah, Manu Ginobili, he was a second rounder.
Yeah, I wouldn't call Manu a superstar necessarily, but
yeah,
he's a great player, obviously. One of my favorite players, secretly, even though he's on a team I hate. Or not hate, but begrudgingly respect. Yeah. A rival.
See, and I that's good. I appreciate you say that.
Yeah.
I respect that you respect other people.
There's not many players like Manu, dude. So I like him for that reason. But nobody wants to hear us talk about Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, the Spurs. That's just like, click it off. If you're talking Spurs, off. Don't care.
Let's do 10 to 15 minutes of Spurs. Every podcast.
Hardcore Spurs talk.
And it's not even like where we talk
Followed by a little USA curling update.
Yeah, curling
good.
and Spurs.
That's good podcast right there.
That's good stuff. And we don't even talk about the Spurs stars. We talk about like their rotation guys. Like what's going on with Gary Neal, although he doesn't play for them anymore. What's going on with Marco Bellinelli? 10 minutes on Bellinelli.
Hot podcast right here.
Yeah.
This is hot talk right here. The Cooper and Rupert podcast. How are the pictures going, Karen? Did you get any good ones?
Good. Yep. Thumbs.
Yeah, that way you with the headphones on listening to this right now, you can see our mugs up on the website. So you got to have one of these days. This is our media day.
I still maintain no one wants to see our faces.
No, I don't really think that they do, but they're going to.
Yeah.
They're going to know who's doing this podcast.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What's next?
Oh, what is next? We're just chewing through some stuff. Oh, Duke Syracuse. That was a great game, by the way. I don't know if you got a chance to see any of the highlights or not, but that game was like a pretty good game. And wouldn't be surprised if that's like an early preview to what we see at the beginning of April. I mean, the two heavyweights going at it, but the story of the game, of course, is Jim Boeheim after like the post game because the game was like super tight, like
just coming unhinged.
Yeah, I'm gonna run back the scenario for y'all. Duke was up by 2, and Syracuse had the ball. There was about 16 seconds left, and C.J. Fair drives the lane, and Rodney Hood from Duke took a charge, and C.J. Fair actually made the basket. But they called a charge instead of a blocking foul, and Jim Boeheim just flipped out. He's lost his mind. Now, I understand. I can see both ways how people could argue a charge or a block there. It wasn't horrible that it was a charge. I don't even know what I would have called. Like, it was that close. And charges and fouls, just regular blocking fouls, are like the most difficult call to decide sometimes.
Yeah.
And people, if it's late in the game, people just hate calls. If it's something had to be there. It was so much contact. It had to be a call.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, I don't think. I think a charge was fairly appropriate. Nonetheless, Jim Boeheim lost it.
He came unhinged.
Yeah, he came on hit, and they got 2 technicals and got kicked out.
That's the way to go out, though.
But some people are arguing, and this is what I think is a little bit silly. People are saying, "Oh, like Syracuse, they hadn't lost yet." Like they blame the game on Jim Boeheim's techs. But at the same time, I think the game was over at that play. I think that charge call ended the game. There was 10 seconds left. Duke would have been inbounding the ball, and they would have had. And so they were going to get fouled. If they got the ball inbounds, they were going to get fouled. And then they had 2 free throws, and then it was going to be Syracuse's ball, and they had 2 timeouts left.
Yeah.
I like Duke's position in there, but I guess the game's not technically over. But I don't know if Jim Boeheim lost in the game. It didn't look like it was going their way.
Even if he did, I mean, those are the kind of things like you might like lose the battle, but it's more for the war. Like seeing your coach get that upset. I mean, to me as a player, I would just be like, okay, it's just nice to see that your coach cares and he's like willing to go to bat for you. There
was a quote. There was one of the players. I didn't write it down, but one of the players was talking about how he was excited to see like his coach stick up for him.
Yeah.
So you're right. They lost the game. They're still going to be a number 1 seed, most likely. I mean, that is 2 losses in a row, but let's see they go far in the ACC tournament. Even if they get one more loss in the ACC tournament, that's 3 losses. They'll still probably be a 1.
Yeah.
So really, it doesn't hurt them that way at all. And then now that they've got, I don't know if they needed more respect for their coach. I doubt that they needed that. But
and they could
might go somewhere.
They could meet Duke again in the ACC tournament.
Yeah,
right? I mean, so it's not. I mean, to me, it's like they're from Jim Boeheim's perspective, they're looking at a 2-game losing streak and on basically a possibly unlucky play. And so why not just freak out and try to get your team a little fired up?
Nonetheless, it was a great game.
Yeah.
It got me kind of pumped for college basketball. Like, we're kind of at that point now where games are starting to matter. We're going to get into the conference tournament here in next week? 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Something like that. We're going to be playing and then this is when college basketball becomes back on the map, and that becomes everyone's kind of target focus for a brief period, because college basketball in all really isn't that popular.
Yeah. And I think, I wanted to talk to you about this. The BPI. Have you ever read anything about this?
Yeah, let's get nerdy here. You wanted to talk about some of these stats here. No, let's do it. I'm bringing it on.
So according to my research, BPI is Bank of the Philippines Islands.
You got your calculators out?
Basketball Power Index. And I was looking at it. It combines like RPI and all these other like kind of advanced statistics, but through 2007 to 2011, it's predicted almost 75% of the tournament games correctly. And it projected Duke to beat Syracuse this week. And the reason I mentioned the Boston College game, Boston College, who was 6-19, who beat Syracuse the game before this, was that they were a 1.2% chance to win because they're 6-19. They're terrible. They're playing the number 1 team, undefeated on the road. And so apparently that was the lowest percentage of anyone to ever win a game of BPI. So I don't know what the stat is, but it seems like it's pretty amazing. Yeah,
that's pretty wild. And what was the stat about? It's picked 75% of games correctly. The BPI picks every game.
Well, it's picked. I don't know if they pick every game, but they've picked 75% of the tournament games for the last 5 years correctly.
Well,
which maybe isn't that. I don't know.
Is that much of a stat? Because you got to think, you automatically get 4 in the first week. I mean, you pick the 1 over the 16. You know, you pick all the 2s over the 15s.
I feel like, though, if you did a bracket every year in your office pool and you just followed exactly what the BPI said, like, you probably win a lot.
If you picked but you'd have to pick every game, not like a regular bracket, because if like somebody loses, then you don't get it. But you're saying every game that is a matchup, you pick that matchup, they get 75 of them right.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's right. Yeah, because if somebody loses, it throws everything off. But
yeah, because if all the 16s beat all the 1s, then it's like you're done.
yeah.
It was like last year, like with Wichita State. Like,
yeah.
That's why no one can ever get the bracket challenge.
It'll never happen. It's
won't.
impossible.
I saw some ridiculous stat that if like a printer printed out a bracket every second of the combinations to win one tournament, it would take them like 32 years to like print out every combination of the bracket.
What kind of printer? HP?
I think it was a Canon, something like that.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, mathematically, it's probably just an insane amount of possibilities. I don't know anything about math, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but I assume 32 years.
Yeah, but that's how
time.
difficult it would be to pick the bracket.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to do anyways.
It's the best thing of the year.
Are you ready to do that, Karen? I think we might get you in on this with the bracket thing.
We have a good idea.
Karen, of course, is a very avid basketball fan. And of course, when I say avid basketball fan, I mean not a basketball fan at all.
Yeah. Definition of avid.
Have you ever watched a game before?
A basketball game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
You've watched a basketball game?
Yes.
Was it college?
No.
Okay, so she's never watched a college basketball game before in its entirety.
So we're gonna get some people who have never seen college basketball.
Because Doug and I are the experts, so we think we should win this thing. But we're going to test our minds against some of the
experts in quotes.
Experts in quotes, of course. We're going to challenge some people that we think we have better credentials than, and see if we actually are better. Because
I don't think we will.
Because the bracket challenge makes everybody look kind of like a fool.
Yeah. So we're going to get people who've never watched college basketball and see if we can pick a bracket better than they can, which I don't think I can.
We'll get ready for that in a couple weeks. Yeah, so Karen's going to be in on that. Are you excited to fill out a bracket?
I'm all about excitement.
She's ready. The college basketball connoisseur
Yeah.
is going to be penciling in those upsets. Got Wichita State in there. Got St. Louis in there.
Because they have a cuter uniform.
Who does?
What's
I don't know.
What's a bracket?
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if you were being funny or if you were serious.
I'm being funny.
Oh.
I've heard of it before.
She's heard of it.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, the fact that we're not even sure, that speaks to what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's
here.
good. We know your level now.
Yeah.
We're there, and I don't know if I'm any better.
But I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
No, that will be. It'll be a good time. And I love the tournament for the upsets, you know.
Yeah.
I think everybody says that. That's like watching the Super Bowl for the commercials. but like it is so fun watching some
what I like
no-name state just like make it their Super Bowl to get to the round of 32.
You know what I like about the tournament? The best thing about the tournament that everybody loves. That's basically what's saying the upsets.
Oh, yeah. It is. It's kind of like American Idol. It's like the first round, you know, like the first weekend of the tournament is like by far the most exciting.
Yeah.
There's just games on all the time and buzzer beaters and, you know, Louisiana, like, nobody tech just storming the court because they, you know, beat some 5 and the 12 over the 5 thing. It's great. March Madness is great.
Plus day drinking.
Yeah, that too.
That's a big part of it.
Maybe I'll get into a fight.
Yeah.
In March Madness.
That's your thing now.
Oh, man. What else have we got here? I know we've got lots to talk about.
Do you want to talk about the Ben Wexler thing?
Yes, I do. I want to talk about this thing. Yeah, this story kind of went semi under the radar. It was kind of like hardcore baseball fans were kind of into this. Not a lot of talk has been made about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to tiptoe so lightly, Karen. Tiptoeing around and getting good photos.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, this story is like a lot of like hardcore guys were talking about this, but the Phillies, it's supposedly have turned in Oregon State pitcher Ben Wexler. This guy played for violating a no agent rule that the NCAA has for college athletes.
Which, from what I read, is one of those rules that exists but nobody like enforces it.
Exactly. Well, what the situation is Ben Wexler basically had an agent, which is against the rules, kind of negotiating whether or not to go to the draft. The Phillies had drafted him in the 5th round. And then I guess after he decided that, he decided to stay in school. He declined the offer to the Phillies, and he stayed in school.
And then they narked on him.
Then apparently they were just, I guess pissed. I mean, there's no way around the story. I mean, I've read all these articles. No one really knows exactly why, but the Phillies, according to this report by Aaron Fitt from Baseball America, Aaron Fitt.
Yeah.
That guy, he wrote this report. Jesus.
The well-known Aaron Fitt.
Yeah, yes. But anyways, he reported that the Phillies turned this guy in for violating this rule.
They snitched on him.
Which is
hardcore.
And because the only way anyone would ever know is if the baseball team told them. So
they admitted it, I think.
Yeah,
they had it confirmed.
Yeah, which is absolutely silly because apparently both parties, college players and pros, this is like pretty routine procedure. It's not like he has an agent. Everyone's like pretty chill about this thing. So just to like, this is just
it's like they were so butthurt they turned into like a jilted lover. They're
yes.
Like, fine, you're not going to play for us. You're not going to play for anybody.
Just turned him in. So now he can't play. He's temporarily like on suspension while
they've kind of fucked his life up.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Because now the guy can't play because they got to do this NCAA investigation. So he's got to sit out until they conclude this whole thing because of the Phillies.
And they tried to rat on another dude.
They did, and that guy was last year.
Jason Monda.
Was it Jason Monda? Yeah, he was a 6th round pick. But he was cleared to play. He's going to play this year.
Yeah.
So that guy is at least not screwed. I don't know. This looks terrible. Their GM declined to talk. What's his name? I got it here.
He was too busy crying in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like,
terrible.
what is he doing? Like, I guess you don't really have a choice of you have to play with who drafts you, but like how are you creating any sort of goodwill towards your future draft picks?
Yeah, that's not good because now if you're like in talks with a college player and they're like, oh yeah, like the Phillies, oh yeah, I remember that Ben Wetzler thing. I don't think I want to talk to you.
Or you just assume that they were trying to fuck you over.
Yeah, because if you talk to them, if you're talking to the Phillies as a college player from now on, your thoughts are, I either have to go to them, like you have to go to them now. If you want to talk to the Phillies, you got to go because if you don't go, they're going to rat you out.
Well, maybe that's what they're thinking, but that's like just a horrible way to run an organization.
And it's so whack. I mean, everyone is like giving the Phillies so much crap for this thing, as they should. And I'm just glad this isn't the Royals.
Yeah,
I'd be so bummed out.
That's the last thing you guys need.
You know, it's like the losing is enough. Now you have to be like this. But the Phillies are, I think that's a good organization. I mean, for the most part, they won a lot of games.
They draft well too.
Yeah, they've had some good players.
Maybe.
They gave Cole Hamels too much, but
yeah. But man, I don't know. It's just a very bizarre.
Yeah, what a weird story that comes in. Just like an organization just tattletales on just a college kid.
I know. It's so silly and so like just short-sighted and petty. It's very petty.
5th rounder. He must be pretty decent.
Yeah,
I mean, what is there, like 100 rounds in a baseball draft? I mean,
think there's 30.
Ridiculous. 30?
Yeah.
So, I mean, 5th round, he's got to be decent. So, it doesn't make me feel that sorry for this guy. Like, if he was a 5th round pick by the Phillies, it's not like, woe is me. Like, you know, I feel bad for the guy because he wanted to play college baseball again. I mean, he turned down money to do it. So, he really wanted this, and now he doesn't get to play. But his light's going to go on. I'm sure he'll play.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, baseball is such a skill-oriented sport where you have to just be so on point all the time. Your skills need to be so refined. Hitting a baseball is so difficult. It's such a specific task. Like, taking a year off of baseball, competitive baseball, that's not a joke.
Do we know if he gets to practice? Does he get to practice and stuff?
Yeah, but I mean, that's different.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, you know, bullpen sessions, I mean, he'll stay in shape. You're right. I'm belittling his situation.
Oh, he's a pitcher,
here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, so, I mean, maybe it's a little bit easier, but like, I don't know. I just think that's just such a shitty thing to do.
Oh, it's terrible. And the Phillies look bad. They just look so bad in this deal.
I know. So weak.
Them and the Marlins, they're on everybody's bad list.
Yeah.
What an unusual story.
Dicks. Straight up dicks. Stitches get stitches. Or something.
Yeah.
That sounds less white from somebody. I don't know. That didn't sound really thuggish coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Did that sound threatening? I don't think it did.
I don't
think I pulled it off.
I was a little threatening. I feel like people listen to this podcast and I think they say, man, these guys, they're tough. They're getting in bar fights.
Yeah.
I mean, these are a couple hardcore dudes.
Yeah. One of them got shoved off a stool. The other one said snitches and stitches in a really high, kind of nasally voice.
This story was interesting. I don't have a lot to comment about it. I'm actually a little nervous to talk about it, but we're going to do it anyways. I thought this was interesting. I saw today that the NFL is thinking about having an inward penalty. I guess if a player uses it on the field, this isn't confirmed yet. This is a proposed rule to be added. I guess if a player is caught using that word on the field, it'll be a 15-yarder personal foul.
I got a couple thoughts about this.
I don't really understand. Have they obviously must have let that go in the past.
Well, wouldn't that be
like taunting or something? Wasn't that already a 15-yarder? Like, I don't understand why they're doing. I feel like this is overkill.
This will not happen because one, this is a reality that the NFL doesn't want to shine a light on. Like, this is just something they don't want people thinking about while they're watching a football game. To throw a flag and have to make a
inward penalty. That's 15 yards. Like, what?
Yeah, like they don't want to have to make a ref stand up in front of the game and explain why he's calling a 15-yard penalty for that reason. Like, that's just like a reality they don't want people thinking about. I don't know.
Even if they call it something else, even if they call it like, you'll know that that's what happened to get that penalty.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, like, this is for a lot of these guys, like, it's such an ingrained way of speaking. Like, it's no different from you and I saying bro or like dude or whatever. That's a hard habit to break, I think. And like I just think, like, you don't want a scenario where there's like six of these penalties in a row and somebody's like on the 10-yard line because people were saying the N-word. Like, that just seems crazy. Like, why would they ever want that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we're all professionals, but this is where it's tough. I mean, like, kind of skating on topics, because I can't hardly say that it should or shouldn't be, because this word doesn't really apply to me, and I know it's so charged. And that's a lot of the people. So it's like tough, you know. It's like, what do we even say about it?
That's the other weird thing about it, is like, you have a bunch of rich white guys deciding whether their players can say a word that only they can say, which is also kind of weird. And we don't know if that's a good or bad thing, like, because we just don't know, and neither do they. So let's just like, I don't think it's something that should be.
John
happening.
Wooten is the head of the Fritz Pollard Alliance. They monitor diversity in the NFL. What the hell is that? They monitor diversity in the NFL. What does that even mean?
Well, they're probably maybe they're the group that has something to do with the what's that rule where they now coaches or owners in the NFL have to interview at least one black head coach candidate.
They do?
Yeah.
That seems silly to me.
Well, it's a rule. They're trying to promote diversity. I mean, I don't know.
Well, whatever this does, this just seems like a bunch of guys that are just really passionate to just ruin stuff. You know what I mean? There's always those guys that, like, they find that, like, you're taking a test or something in high school and, like, there's a misspelling, and these are the guys that raise their hand and it's like, this word is spelled incorrectly. Like, I feel like these are these guys.
Yeah, or the guys who are like, remind your teacher after class that she didn't assign any homework.
Yeah.
Like,
these guys were all like NTS, non-traditional students, I'm sure. But anyways, this John Wooten dude, whoever the head of this thing, basically said, this was his quote talking about this new rule. He said, "I'll be totally shocked if the competition committee does not uphold us on what we're trying to do. We want this word to be policed from the parking lot to the equipment room to the locker room. Secretaries, PR people, whoever, we want it eliminated completely, and we want it policed everywhere."
It's not going to happen.
It's probably for the best to get rid of it.
Here's the thing that's complicated about it is because the people who are using it aren't using it in a derogatory or slurred fashion.
Well, maybe they are.
I mean, maybe they are, but like, it's different if it was like, if you wanted to say there's a 15-yard penalty for a white player calling a black player that word. Yeah. But for black players calling each other that, like, you can't police that because it's not the same as like somebody using, you know, fag or like something that's more derogatory. It's like, you know, it's a different thing. And I don't think Roger Goodell is the guy to like make a decision about it.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on this penalty. I'm interested to see what they name it. If this ends up being its own penalty and they name it something, like whatever it is, we're always going to know when that penalty's called what just happened.
I would be shocked if this passes.
I just feel like we're all kind of grown men, and it's like, you know, you're playing football, and it's like, well, I guess it's taunting is kind of a thing. I don't know. It's kind of
That's what I'm saying.
Where's the line of like professionalism and like policing this stuff? It's like, if a guy's bumming you out, just beat him.
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, there's some of that, and I think like I said, if you want to get rid of a derogatory word, that's one thing. A slur, that's one thing, but it's not always used in that way. So it's complicated, and it's not something that we really know much enough about to really say anything smart about.
Yeah, I think you're right. Such a weird story.
Yeah.
Now I want to get on to something that you kind of didn't want to talk about, but I kind of wanted to talk about. The Olympics are over, and I kind of feel good about it. Like, I remember the Summer Games are the same way. I get so pumped up for these things at the beginning, and then they're over, and it's like, yeah, I'm kind of glad these happen every 4 years.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes them so exciting at the first is the rarity of it. But they are over, and USA finished fourth. Well, what do you value? Do you value golds? We finished fourth.
Yeah.
Second in the overall. Russia took the whole thing, and actually kind of pissed me off a little bit.
That is...
And I don't have anything against the Russians, but I kind of have something against the Russians. I just kind of like to watch those guys squirm because they kind of seem like they're, I don't know.
They're shady. This was the shadiest Olympics ever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that.
I kind of wanted to beat them. They didn't win hockey, and we did get that game from them, which was a great game, and we did win that. So I guess that was kind of our thing, but they won the whole thing fair and square. For all we know.
Yeah.
And
I would be interested to see how many I guess it's all international committees and stuff, but like I would be interested to see how many sports they won gold in or a medal in where judges were involved.
Well, they kind of came out of nowhere late. I think they got some ice skating ones late because we were number 1 like 2 days ago. And then now we finished fourth, and then Norway and Canada with those 2 hockey medals past us. They got women's and men's hockey.
Yeah.
That they jumped us on that.
They are sick at figure skating, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know.
I'm
not a very big figure skating guy. I don't really have a lot of expertise in that.
I thought you were like totally into it.
You know what I've heard is really good?
What?
That 30 for 30 doc about the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan.
I watched that.
Yeah, you did?
That's how ridiculous rabbit ears are. Like I like that's the kind of the program. But it was 30 for 30. They make anything. They make tiddlywinks. Like Bobby Fischer playing this guy, that was a crazy documentary. By
I
the
liked
way.
that one a lot.
What was that? Bobby Fischer Against the World?
Yeah, I think maybe something like that.
I'm not a huge movie recommendation guy, but it was shot in, I believe, 2011. I mean, it was like the most intense documentary ever. Like, I really recommend you to watch that. You, the listener, to watch that documentary. It was very good. It was well done, edited well.
Are you talking about the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan one?
No, I'm talking about Bobby Fischer.
Oh,
I use that as a really bad example because it's like chess and it seems stupid, but it was actually very good.
Yeah.
But because it's 30 for 30, yeah, they made this ice skating thing.
What did you think about that one?
Well, I thought it was a good documentary too. Basically, I took away from it that they both were kind of whack. Like Tanya Harding appeared to not understand that her husband was doing this. Her husband acted alone or with this other dude. Then they did it separate of her knowing about it.
Okay.
And she covered it up. That she covered it up later. That she knew that her husband had did it after it was over, but she covered that up. But she admitted that.
But she wasn't implicit in the planning of it.
No, she claims that she had nothing to do with the planning. She didn't even know that this was happening. And kind of based on the guy, it's very possible. I kind of walked away saying, yeah, that guy probably did do it without her knowing. But she still kind of seems like whack. And then, Nancy Kerrigan, like, she had all this. She still doesn't comment about it today, which means you're not over it. It's like, you think you'd be over it by now.
Yeah.
But she's kind of stuck up about it too. It's like it was like it turned me off from ice skating. I was like, this sucks.
And she didn't even win, right? She got the silver.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's one of the highest rated broadcasts ever. Was that when they were all performing?
People were into it, man.
Yeah,
like that documentary was pretty crazy.
You could not write
into it.
You could not write a movie that good. It was like a real. I mean, it's like a real life made for TV movie happening in real life.
Yeah. It was like the documentary itself.
Insane.
To put figure skating on the map, I mean, you've got to do something ridiculous, and that is exactly what happened.
And that was the same thing where like her skate, like she got to start her routine over in the Olympics, right? Because her skate was messed up.
Yeah, it was something like her shoelaces broke, which is like a really big problem. Like if your shoelace breaks, like you're not tight on your foot.
But just to have that happen in that setting, and she already seemed shady, like it was just like I remember watching that vaguely.
Yeah, and Tanya Harding's kind of it was also weird. There was one part where like she went to go apologize to Nancy Kerrigan about everything that had happened, and Nancy blew her off. But like Tanya Harding was really mad at Nancy Kerrigan for blowing her off, and it's like, your husband just blew out her knee.
Yeah.
She's a little pissed off. Like, how can you not understand that?
Yeah.
They both seem like clowns. Yeah, I wasn't into it. I mean, I was into the documentary, but I didn't like them as people, but I thought the documentary was good.
Yeah. I'm going to watch that soon. I think it's on Netflix, so I'm going to check that out.
USA apparently had a really bad Olympics, like for our standards. Like our three big guys, Shaun White, Bode Miller, and Shanny Davis. Those were like the big famous names. They combined for 1 bronze.
Yeah,
doing multiple events.
But
I don't know. We didn't get anything in hockey. I think everyone thought this was our year in hockey. I think that we thought we were going to take the gold. We hadn't won a gold since 1984. Since the Miracle on Ice, we hadn't won a gold.
Yeah,
it was 80. Maybe that was. Excuse me, that was 80. Also, an interesting stat: we have no medals in speed skating for the first time since 1984.
Wow!
And we have no individual figure skating medals since 1936.
Wow!
So
down year
for the USA. I mean,
which is surprising because I thought we never did that well in the Winter Olympics. So if we had a down year and we were still 4th in gold, it's like
Norway is like, I think I said this. I can't remember if it was one of the podcasts that we said that we've put up or not put up, but I'll say it again. We had USA is number 2 overall in Winter Olympic total medals and number 2 in golds as well.
Yeah, that's really
behind
surprising.
Norway, who finished 2nd.
Because I always just was under the impression we don't care.
Well, we don't care, but we're really good. Like, we have people that do.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I love that about our country. It's like we are relevant in everything sports. Like, even if we're not the best, like, we're obviously not that great for like world standards in soccer, but we're still in the World Cup every single year, which is the 32 teams are in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we don't really care that much, even though, I mean, I personally do care, but the country as a whole, I think soccer is getting more popular. But, and it's like figure skating. We don't even know what's going on. We just turn it on. It's like, oh, hey, we got a speed skater. That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I'm glad someone's taking care of that.
But we always have somebody relevant, and that's so exciting. Because, for like anybody else, if you're like, Argentina, or if you're Karen. Karen is what are you, an Argentinian but you're Armenian? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both of those countries would have, they got their soccer, but they don't have their figure skating.
Yeah.
Or, they got this, or they got that, or they got basketball, or they don't have.
You have to pick a few.
We have all of it.
Yeah. That's nice. I mean, but we also should, because we're like one of the biggest countries.
Yes, that's also true. But, China, they don't have that. I mean, they don't have a hockey team or anything,
Well, that's because they're all oppressed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a drag. I'm not saying we should move there. I'm just saying that there are a couple other big countries. I mean, India, they don't even do anything, and they're the biggest country ever.
Yeah.
There's no organization over there. They don't even have a good soccer team. What do they just do? Cricket?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
They're doing cricket. They're into cricket big time.
There was that ridiculous movie I saw coming out. We're getting kind of off the map. Yeah, with John Hamm, trying to find those Indian guys. But it was like, they kind of seemed like an interesting movie. But then there was like this weird love interest thing. It was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, I liked when I heard about it, I was like, okay, I usually like those kind of sports movies. They're kind of interesting.
Yeah, like a Moneyball kind of vibe.
Yeah. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my God, this looks like a disaster.
Yeah, good idea, but poor execution.
Because I'm a John Hamm fan, I'm into that dude. I think he's a good actor. And so I'd like to see him have a good movie star role, but this is not it. That's a bad first step out for him.
Yeah, India and their cricket. I don't even know.
Do you even know what cricket is?
I don't really know the rules, and I know the games last a really long time, but I don't understand why. I just don't. I don't know anything about it, and I'm sure that they're great. It's just like, how can the most populated country ever not have?
We should be
good at something.
We should do a segment where we get really into some obscure sport like once a week and like learn a bunch about it.
Oh, just bring it up like we're talking cricket.
Or like this is cricket.
Talking curling.
And our task will be to make it interesting to the listeners.
I think that's just flirting with people to turn it off.
We will gradually lose because we're talking about cricket.
We'll have to save that till the very, very end.
Okay.
Yeah. What else have we got? Olympics. I think that's about it. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona today. I guess that's like the big thing. I mean, I don't have much to say on that.
Yeah, I don't care for that guy.
But I really wanted to talk NASCAR. I was kind of like pumped to like talk NASCAR. Not that I would be intelligent because I don't know anything about NASCAR, but just that we cover all that stuff. We're going to cover NASCAR to curling to chess to cricket. Like
We're going to cover so many things that we have nothing smart or insightful to say about any of them.
Yes, we just want to say those things.
Yeah. Just say the word NASCAR. This Olympics was funny though. This was the funniest Olympics.
In what way?
Like the fact that guy on the bobsled team had to like Hulk smash out of his bathroom door to get out because he got trapped in.
I missed that story.
All the stuff with the water. The fact that the hotels like didn't have lobbies and like just everything was a disaster. Like I feel like that was funny at least.
No, it certainly was interesting. It kind of put Russia in an interesting light. I think we all kind of thought about them for a little while.
Yeah, that they paid $51 billion for a steaming pile of hot garbage.
Yeah, and then their stuff wasn't right.
Yeah, the half pipe
was off. Well, I think is that part of us? Is that Americans just make an excuse because Sean White didn't win?
No, I don't think so. Everybody was complaining about it. That was like one of the few events I actually watched.
Yeah, that was early in the morning, right? Did you get up for that?
Or I watched the replay then maybe.
Yeah, I got up for a few events. I got really excited about it early.
I think that's exciting.
Getting up early to watch the Olympics? No, it is kind of fun. It is nice every once in a while to like when there is like the World Cup somewhere weird or like the Olympics to like have sports going on at really weird times. It is kind of like a refreshing. I mean, obviously it was really annoying getting up at 4:30 for Olympic hockey, but at the same time it was like, I'm doing fist pumps at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Just like, goal. It's 6 a.m. Like the birds are chirping outside. It's just really unique, and I get to have fun with it. I'm glad it's just once every 4 years. Well, almost every two, because in the Olympics.
What time is the World Cup going to come on this year?
It's in Brazil, which I think is like one time zone east of Eastern time zone. So the games are actually going to be like kind of normal.
That sucks. I was going to say we could get up early and watch one of those games.
Last time it was in South Africa, the games slots were like 6:30 and 9 a.m.
I know. I think I woke up really, really early for the. I think it was the England game, and that started. I think it started like 9 a.m. I mean, I guess that's not that early, but we got up at like because all the bars were just like they were showing soccer were like insanely packed for some reason. Like it was crazy because we were in Santa Monica, and in Santa Monica there's like a ton of British people. A lot of so all the pubs were like insanely packed, and we had to get up at like 7. Yeah. And we were like sitting in our bar stools waiting for the game to start at like 8 a.m. And it was pretty awesome actually.
What was their vibe when that goal squirted through? Dempsey had that just no look turnaround, then he nailed it, and then their goalie like blocked it, and then was like crawling after it to like stop it, and then it went in. It was an easily blocked goal.
They were turning on that the goalkeeper and Wayne Rooney like so hard. Oh my God, they were just like they were putting Wayne Rooney on blast.
We got to do that this year. Although we don't play. Who do we play? Our guaranteed matchups. We're playing Ghana. We're playing Portugal and Germany.
Yeah, our bracket is ridiculous.
No, it's insanely hard. But I was hoping that we go to like there'd be some really passionate group that lives in Los Angeles, just because I like it when we beat people at their own games. So I could really want to go and like see if we can't upset somebody.
Yeah, maybe we could do some Googling and find that out.
Find out where all the Germans are. Well, I got a feeling Germans they might whip up on us, but we have a shot. I think the U.S. has got a legitimate shot against Portugal, and I think that they can beat Ghana. I think that this will be the year that we finally put those guys in their place. They've beat us the last 2 times in the World Cup. They eliminated us.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're a good team. 23rd in the world or something. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
But I'm over those guys, and I want to win.
Yeah. I'm excited for World Cup, which is weird to say, but I am.
See, that doesn't strike you. Don't strike me as a guy pumped up for the World Cup.
I'm kind of getting into soccer. I don't know.
I heard this interesting stat that the younger generation is like more into soccer than we've ever been. Like we're kind of like every year it gets more popular and more popular in the United States.
I just think it's one of those things. If you're open minded to it, and the more you learn about anything, the more you like it.
Yeah.
And so the more I've been kind of watching soccer. I played soccer when I was growing up, I guess. So I mean, on some level, I do.
So
understand
you're pretty good.
I turned down a few scholarships, but I think it's just like anything. The more you appreciate it, the more knowledge you have, the more you can see kind of the things going on within the game was within the game or whatever.
Yeah.
The more you get into something.
I love it. Although there's one thing that I dislike about soccer. Why don't they just stop the clock when there's a dead ball? I don't get it.
Yeah, there are some things that are confusing about it. I don't understand why they don't have more refs either, because that would get rid of all the stupid flopping. I hate the flopping.
Well, you almost can't stop that.
Well, if you had more refs, they would be able to see that that's nonsense. And the reason they do it is because the ref is like 20 yards away and he can't tell what's going on, so they just "Ah!" Act like they just got shot by a sniper
Yeah.
every time someone breathes on them. I think that's it. Are we done?
Yeah. How much time where are we at on time?
I think we're close to an hour.
That's good.
Yeah, that felt good. That's a good.
That's good enough.
That's a good welcome.
Yeah. So now everybody who's listening, I would love it if you told your friends to listen to this podcast. A lot of them might not even know what a podcast is.
I doubt. Well,
some might not. I'm from Kansas, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't have computers. We have sticks and buffalo. So someone's gonna have to get on their get on the horn there and tell their buddies what a podcast is.
You do have a town newspaper.
The internet.
You do have a town newspaper where the stories are like, so and so went out of town today. Like that's like what's going on in the news.
Yeah.
Someone bought it.
No, honest to God,
yeah.
Like I think Karen, right there. Can you hand me that? Can you hand me that newspaper right there? I've got a story. I want to read just like the headline, like one sentence for this thing before we sign off. But honestly, I'm from a town so small that our newspaper reads this. I got my newspaper. My mom got me a subscription, so I get one once a week.
Yeah, because you got to know what's going on.
Yeah, the Salt Creek News. That's what it's called. Where's it at? Ada News. Salt Creek News. Okay, I'll just read you the first thing.
Okay.
Emery and Carlene Berry attended the Valentine banquet at the Community Bible Church on Saturday evening. Visiting Glenn and Mary Lott on Saturday was Todd Sponsel of McPherson, Jeff Lott, and Justin Smith. I actually know Todd Sponsel. I know all these people. We all know everybody.
So it's about
Mary went to the home of Ionetta Wilbur on Sunday to attend the birthday party to celebrate Michael Dickerman's second birthday. Happy birthday, Michael! That's where I'm from.
Yeah,
that's my town.
So a birthday party actually gets a write up.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a birthday party, but I'm sure our podcast won't. I'm sure that won't make the cut. They don't know what podcasts are back there. But anyways, tell your friends that we have a podcast and that we're going to be doing this every Sunday. We're going to put these up Sunday night, but it'll be nice and ready for you on Monday morning.
And hopefully if we get good enough someday, we'll end up in the Salt Creek News.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
maybe
the dream.
we'll get. That's the goal, is to get in the Minneapolis Messenger.
Yeah, we can all dream.
Got to dream big, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is up for today. We'll see you next week. We'll have nice photos on the website, cooperandrupert.com, where you'll be able to see all of it. We'll also be on iTunes. We're going to have our own app.
It's going to be official.
All that stuff. It's going to be great.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All photos courtesy of Karen.
Facebook page. Are we going to do that?
Yeah, no, we got a Facebook page and a Twitter account.
Oh.
So we'll tweet when we come up with new podcasts.
All right.
But anyways, thank you very much for listening for the first episode, really.
Yeah. Legit episode.
Yeah, first legit episode. And we'll see you next Sunday at the same time.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.